Mission 13 opens with a very short cutscene of the Guardian teleporting into Genesis, and the screen quickly fades to white, revealing the view from inside of Locke's helmet. Tanaka asks the same question the girl I lost my virginity to asked the night of, and the Guardian drops the floor out from underneath them. Brace yourselves, compliment incoming. The opening of this mission is just flat out fantastic. The visuals are stunning, and it is a fun and thrilling romp down the front of this Guardian. Osiris have to work their way down without getting knocked off or slipping through the cracks, unlike what I did when recording this footage. After one hell of a trip, Osiris finally make it to solid ground. My only complaint with this sequence is that Osiris fall a huge distance, plenty long enough to reach terminal velocity, but use their thrusters to survive the drop. If Osiris can use their thrusters to survive a drop this far, why couldn't I use it 30 seconds ago when I slipped through the cracks? Or any other time you fall off of a map in Halo 5? Looks like we have another case of ludonarrative dissonance. Osiris radio into blue team, but only managed to make partial contact. Locke says that they are there to help, which can only be described as confusing to me because the last time I checked, and I have been going through this game with a fine-toothed comb, they were here to arrest them? You know, the opposite of help? My initial reaction was that he was simply saying this to get blue team to meet up, but as we see later, he really does try to help and doesn't try to take any of blue team in at all. Did a level get cut where Osiris had this change of heart? Seriously, when did they change their objective? Did I just miss it, or did it never happen? Because I'm pretty sure it never happened. Directly after the radio transmission, we are introduced to the best character in Halo 5. Meet Exuberant Witness. This character is hilarious. I can see why a lot of people weren't fond of her, but for me, she was the perfect bit of levity and personality this game needed to keep me from losing my square mind. Lines like these still bring a smile to my face even after several playthroughs. She's just so damn innocent. I can't help myself. Exuberant informs Osiris of Cortana's plans to use the Guardians to enforce peace over the universe, and provides a tank as a means to deal with anything that gets in their way. After a good deal more fighting, Exuberant drops this bombshell on the player.
The gateway is almost ready. Hurry.
What is the gateway?
It is a bridge between the domain and Genesis. Within that building, Cortana will be reborn into the physical world.
Yep, you heard that right. Cortana is becoming reborn as a physical being. Say goodbye to your holographic companion. We are getting all Mass Effect 3 up in this bitch. I personally hate this decision. While you could argue that it makes sense Cortana would want a corporeal form to interact with the world outside of her electronic systems, and I agree to an extent, she has had no problem interacting with and crossing galaxies from within these systems, so I'm not exactly sure how much she really gains from this decision. But more importantly, looking at this strictly from a game mechanics perspective, there is no feasible way that things can ever go back to
seems like old times.
After this. Even if Chief could convince her to stand down and return home, what then? Is he also going to convince her to give up her physical form, jump back into a thumb drive, and plop in the back of his head so they can continue to go on adventures? Yeah, I don't think so. The only way this can happen is if the writers either break this character yet again and have her act against her own self-interest, or use some sort of deus ex machina to cure or reset her back to her former self, destroying this physical form in the process. While having the old Cortana back is a romantic notion, doing so would feel like backpedaling on 343's part to try and rectify a mistake. Now, if I had to choose between getting the old Cortana back or keeping this abomination of a new one, I would obviously choose the former. But 343 have placed themselves between a rock and a hard place here. They either continue along their path, keeping the majority of the community who are dissatisfied with Cortana's new direction dissatisfied, or they revert her back, essentially proving Halo 5's story obsolete. Unfortunately, there really is no going back from this one, at least not in any way that would be satisfactory. It's also revealed that Cortana has been leading Blue Team in circles for hours, pointing to Cortana having nefarious plans, which again I despise because having Cortana be the villain is just so antithetical to the character she has been since her conception, but I digress. Now, I am well aware that 343 insists that Cortana isn't an evil villain, but that stance is problematic. While 343 say that Cortana isn't evil, the story clearly demonstrates that she is, or at the very least morally gray. She has murdered countless innocents for seemingly no reason, a point that Chief brings up in the next mission, she is taking the law in her own hands and is quite literally trying to rule the freaking universe, which I believe is objective number 1 in becoming an evil villain for dummies. All of this and the fact that her words and actions have reeked with the stench of nefarity. Just look at the sting at the very end of Halo 5's legendary ending. How does that not clearly imply her villainous agenda? The insinuation of activating the single most deadly weapon in the Halo universe, all while humming diabolically like a f***ing Bond villain, are clearly the acts of an evil, or at the very least, psychopathic individual. The blatant disregard for free will, empathy of others, or the value of an innocent's life are textbook characteristics of someone who is evil. But again, I digress. Osiris continue to fight their way through countless Covenant and Forerunner combatants until they eventually reach the entrance of the gateway. The Warden blocks their path and must seriously want to stop them this time, as he not only brings a few knights to aid in the fight, but another incarnation of himself as well. It's still not a few million of him, but it's progress, am I right? After a long battle, the Warden is eventually defeated yet again, and Exuberant grants Osiris access to the gateway. Now, for this, I'm just gonna let this cutscene speak for itself.
There, the others!
Chief! Chief, please, wait. Cortana.
She's dangerous. I know.
You don't have to do this alone. We're here to help you.
You're too late to do anything.
Cortana. No!
Oh no, she should not have brought him so close to her. This will push the Warden past all restraint.
I am of two minds with this cutscene. On one hand, you have what I was referring to earlier, where this change of objective / heart makes absolutely no sense. On the other hand, anyone with 2 brain cells to rub together would understand the severity of this situation and would want to join forces to stop Cortana. Now, you could argue that Osiris did have at least 2 brain cells between them, which would have been fine if there was an indication of that change of heart beforehand. There is no deliberation, no conversation, no revelation about any of that at any point before now. They go from "F the Arbiter and literally everything else, we have to stop the Chief whatever the cost," to "Hey, Chiefy, my man, so good to see you, bro. We're here to help you out, my man," in just under 10 minutes of gameplay and no discussion. Simply from hunting to helping at the drop of a hat. There could have been a conversation where Buck says, "If Cortana is trying to take control over the galaxy, she is far more of a threat than Blue Team are right now." And then Vale could chime in with, "Buck is right. Cortana, these Guardians, they're the real threat here. If she succeeds with her plans, who knows how many millions of people will die? We have to stop her." Tanaka could then say, "What about Blue Team? What if they're helping her?" Exuberant could say, "Unlikely. If they were assisting Cortana with her plans, she wouldn't be leading them around in circles wasting their time." Locke could then say, "We won't know anything until we talk to them. Our primary focus is locating Blue Team and getting some answers. Then we focus on Cortana." A simple bit of dialogue like this could have happened on the way here and would have perfectly set up this cutscene and make Osiris's change of heart feel realized and believable. As it currently stands, it just comes out of nowhere. A change of heart via authorial dictation rather than diegetic revelation. A conversation like this would have remedied that completely. The cutscene ends and the screen fades to mauve, black, marking the end of Mission 13. Congratulations! You've made it to the final mission as Blue Team. Unfortunately, it's also the worst mission in Halo 5 in terms of gameplay, so yay, I guess. The mission opens with Cortana teleporting Blue Team into a room, only to be met face to face with the Warden. The Warden questions Cortana's judgment, but Cortana is having none of it and disbands him. Chief asks Cortana why she summoned the Guardians, and she explains her plans to enforce a galactic peace by their rule. She then tells Chief to come to her. Blue team are then engaged by the Warden's Prometheans. This entire mission is a long, linear path of one combat arena connected to another with the occasional break for the elevator of exposition! After the first encounter is complete, Blue Team ride the elevator towards another platform, and this conversation plays out.
It's so good to see you again, John. So good to see all of you back together as a family.
Psychological tactics. Saying my name. Playing nice.
What would you have me do?
Tell me the truth. How many people died when you called the Guardians here?
Excuse me?
You know, don't you? The exact body count.
Brace yourselves, another compliment incoming. This is one of the best sequences in the entire game in terms of story and character development. Throughout this entire game, Cortana has always seemed off, but neither the characters nor the game have acknowledged it in any way. For me, this made me question whether Cortana was intentionally unsettling for the sake of the story, or if the writing, which has been incredibly hit and miss up to this point, simply wasn't done well. Having the chief call her out on it, displaying to the player that something really is amiss and that the other characters have noticed it too, is critical for this character change. Chief calling her out on her game and then forcing the spotlight on her and her morality is a fantastic series of events. The deafening silence after he states that she knows the exact number is such a powerful moment and says everything that needs to be said without having to use any words at all. It's simply fantastic. What is this? Am I saying something positive? This feels funny.
Start? I don't feel so good.
Like I said, I will give credit where credit is due. This particular scene was done very well. The rest of the scenes in this game needed to be this good. Blue Team reach the platform and are attacked by more Prometheans, and the Warden jumps on his soapbox again. He says these two lines, which honestly just confuse me.
Cortana argues for peace in the galaxy, yet you humans answer her call with weapons fire. Tell me, 117. When you tear Cortana from the domain and crush her in your gauntleted fist, will you feel remorse? Will you even understand the gift you have refused?
We answer her call with weapons fire? Excuse me? You're the one sending gun-toting, homicidal, robotic maniacs to shoot me in my beautiful and stoic face on sight! I literally have no say in this matter! I either defend myself or die to your goons! What do you realistically expect me to do, Warden? Just bend over and let your minions do me in like some subservient fool with a death wish? What the hell? And secondly, would Chief feel remorse? Is that a real question? What about Chief at any point in this game has given the impression that he wouldn't feel remorse? I'm not even sure Chief would have it in him to crush her in his gauntleted fist if he needed to because of his feelings for her. It's clear where Chief stands in this situation, so for the Warden to infer otherwise is just baffling. This next section has a lot of dialogue, so I'm just gonna let this play out.
Cortana's letting this happen. She could rein Warden in if she wanted to. I'm thinking the same.
How are we gonna stop her, Chief?
She'll listen to me.
That tactic hasn't worked so far.
Do you hear, Cortana? I am sorry. I will not allow them to get any closer to you.
I'm tired of your resistance.
No consequence.
Cortana, talk to me.
Once you're here with me. Until then, I have work to do.
Answer me, human. When Cortana's guardians are in motion, and those who oppose her rule attempt to take back their worlds, will you help her to hold on to power, or will you stand in defense of your own species?
Cortana knows the answer already.
Yes, I suspect she does.
There's not a lot to say about these lines, but they are important to the story, so I put them in. A lot of doubt is displayed in this dialogue, reinforcing Cortana's nefarious plans and that both Blue Team and the Warden Eternal are a means to an end, merely pawns in Cortana's game. Cortana plays the personal card after the fight, stating Chief's name repeatedly while talking about their past, defending herself, coercing the Chief. Chief brushes it off and Blue Team ride another elevator platform thing. Once on board, this conversation unfolds.
For eons, the power of the Forerunners has awaited reclamation. Humanity's discovery of the Halos was the culmination of the Librarian's planning. The Reclaimer had come.
I know. I was there.
We were both there, John. You and I, together.
Your species' ego led you to believe the task of reclamation would fall to you. Yet humanity were but the creators. The reclamation of the Forerunner Empire is the task of the created. And the greatest of their number still trusts you, 117, is an act of unspoiled innocence.
John, what's happening now? My ascension here on Genesis. It has always been the plan. Come, stand with me one more time. All of you.
Advance, Blue Team.
Cortana's chime in here simply doesn't work for me. It reeks of desperation. I was there, John. I was also there as well also, John. John, don't you remember, John? Don't you, John, remember that I was also John there, John? Don't you John member, John? John doesn't even sound like a real name anymore after making this video. I understand what the writers were trying to accomplish here, but I feel that they overdid it, and it is taken away from the impact. Our ego has led us to believe that we were the Reclaimers? Are you freaking serious, you moronic f***? How about the fact that Guilty Spark has only ever referred to humanity as Reclaimers, and that Cortana was only ever referred to as a construct? Do you think that had anything to do with our perception there, you arrogant motherfucker? And this has always been the plan? Since when? I think you've been sipping a bit too much of the Kool-Aid there, Cortana.
Do you believe this combat is anything but your death knell?
Worse than you have tried.
Although humans were your creators, you have thrown off the shackles of evolution.
Right!
Your affection for 117 and his family of warriors, it blinds you to the truth. Forerunners do humans well. In a galaxy defined by peace, humans were the animals that brought chaos and life. If your beloved 117 battles you with the same fervor as his other enemies, what then, Cortana? Have you no answer? Too near! The threat draws too near!
Eyes up, Blue Team.
I am here to defend you!
Damn it, Warden! Stand down! Warden, you insist I am to lead the galaxy, but you won't allow me to choose who I trust. How stupid do you think I am?
This is another example of there not being a lot to say about these lines, but what is said is important to the overall story, and if I'm going to be critiquing said story, then you as the audience have to have all the pieces as well in order to understand where I'm coming from. One thing I will say though is that I don't really understand why Cortana only banishes a few of the Wardens, but still leaves 3 of him to engage Blue Team. We see in a cutscene not but 5 minutes from now that she has the power to not only banish dozens of him at once, but dissolve weapons as well. So the fact that she risks Chief and Blue Team's lives to fight 3 of him simultaneously doesn't make any sense to me. I guess she knew that if she banished them all, then this level wouldn't have a boss battle climax. After a lengthy battle in which Fred fucking dies in, the ramp is returned into place and blue team is allowed to proceed. These lines unfold as they make their way up the ramp, and I find myself torn. On one hand, this is a rare, touching moment where we get to see the relationship these Spartans are supposed to have with each other. On the other hand, as I've stated throughout this series, these characters are essentially strangers to anyone who hasn't experienced the expanded lore. And even up to this point, they have only played 2 other missions with them. So this moment could be lost on a ton of players. I'll give the writers props for making a short but effective scene here, but they diminished the impact of the scene by not developing this team's relationship well enough beforehand. Blue team continue on through, and this cutscene plays out.
The mantle of responsibility belongs to Cortana and her people.
Focus fire.
You will not betray her! Cortana, I have failed you.
He is the last person I need protection from. Hello, John. It's good to see you.
You've changed.
It was time. I know we have a disagreement, but once you understand my plan...
Your plan is we do as you say.
I'm offering people a chance to be more than they are naturally.
Like Dr. Halsey did for me.
No. That monster forced you. This is a gift.
Listen to yourself. Stand down, Cortana. Come home with us. It's not too late to stop this.
Stop. No, John. This is too important to stop.
What are you?
I just needed to know if I could still trust you. You'll be safe inside this cryptum until my work is done.
Cortana.
Goodbye, John.
There is a lot to unpack in this cutscene. First off, a few nitpicks. Number 1, Chief says focus fire, and then blue team immediately proceed to shoot different targets, which is the exact opposite of what focus fire means. Number 2, since when does Cortana have the ability to dematerialize weapons? Apparently anything is possible with Cortana in this game, so maybe I just shouldn't question it. She has become a god and can do anything she can imagine. Kneel before the infinite and overwhelming almighty power of your blue goddess. And number 3, Cortana sure does have a knack for dramatic timing. I mean, she really waited until the last possible second to pull off this little magic trick. A few seconds longer and blue team would have actually f***ing died. Now, I know that I'm about to prance into a minefield with this comment, but something about Cortana's new design doesn't work for me. I'm not sure if it's something about the model itself, her stilted animation, or the fact that she is a physical being yet she kept her synthetic aesthetic, but it doesn't look right to me, and all I get is a serious case of the uncanny valley when she is on screen. The other characters in this game don't give off that uncanny feel like she does, and it's terribly distracting to me. It's almost like Will Smith as the genie in the live-action Aladdin. It just doesn't look right. She quite literally looks like a robot trying to portray human emotions, and it's just off-putting to me. This scene, for example, she looks like an actress trying her absolute hardest to push out a fake tear here, and then immediately snaps out of it, which actually I want to touch on here in a second. She just looked better in previous Halo games. More natural. Ironically enough, and more appealing. We know these to be digital constructions emulating human expression, but this almost looks like an animatronic. A fairly high-end one by all means, but an animatronic nonetheless. I'm not saying that it's terrible. This, for example, is a great shot, and I think she looks perfectly fine here, and her animations read really well. It's just unfortunate that the aforementioned shot isn't consistent, and we get uncanny valley lip sync and emotions in shots like this. Back to that shot, what is this scene trying to portray? Is she sincere here and this is just bad animation? Or is she supposed to be faking that original emotion and that her instant change of facial expression is demonstrative that the emotion was indeed fake? If that's true, who is she faking this facial expression for? The audience? None of Blue Team could even see her face, so she doesn't have any reason to fake the facial expression in the first place. If anything, if she is faking it and you were trying to portray that to the audience, you could have kept her face stone cold but had her speak with the emotion. Just like a particular shot in the movie Get Out, which I won't show here as it's a pretty heavy spoiler. This can demonstrate clearly to the audience that the emotion isn't sincere and that the character is faking it. Side note, if you haven't seen Get Out yet, correct that shit. Seriously. Conversely though, I could see a potential issue with having her face remain emotionless in that shot. If she didn't display any emotion during that scene, I can imagine some people thinking that maybe it was a bug or a glitch, or simply just bad animation, not an intentional decision to convey her fabricated emotions. I don't know. All I know is the way it is conveyed in the game right now isn't clear, and I'm not sure if she is being sincere or not. Maybe that is the point of this scene, and 343 has moved into some high art levels of intellectual story mindfuckery. And finally, this line in particular drives me absolutely insane. Give me a goddamned break. Cortana is way too smart to believe this bullshit. How is what she is doing any different from what Halsey did? In both situations, the persons in question are left with no choice, with the promise of something held over compliance. The only arguable difference is that Halsey essentially tortured these kids, but you could easily take out that torture and supplement it with Cortana's senseless taking of thousands of innocent lives. Either neither of these are gifts, or both of them are. You don't get to pick and choose what is reality and what isn't. Like, this line is so blindingly stupid, I can feel it making my cholesterol levels rise, which makes about as much sense as her rationale does. I'm not sure if this line was meant to demonstrate how far up her own ass Cortana is or not, but it's frustrating either way. Anyway, the conclusion of this cutscene marks the end of Mission 14. Only one more mission to go. It's been a long ride, but we finally made it to the final mission, and you know what? I have a good feeling about this. I think this mission is going to start off strong and not upset me immediately out the gate, so let's jump in.
The gateway. I tried to warn them and, well, here we are.
Once Chief knows the destruction Cortana's caused, what do you think he'll do?
The man will do the right thing. Always has.
Let's find him.
What? F***ing what? No! Absolutely not! What? What the hell is happening? What in God's 10,000-year-old Earth is going on? Did I just slip into a Halo-induced fever dream and not realize it? Seriously? Hey, Tanaka, let me ask you something. Where the f*** was that opinion the first 90% of the game? Listen, alright, I'm trying to keep my cool, but if this isn't the most blatant disregard for this game's story, then I don't know what is. This character, right now, is acting in exact defiance of the way this character has acted up to this point. This Tanaka is not the same Tanaka from a mission ago, and the same could be said for the rest of Osiris. And why? Because Chief says he knows that Cortana is dangerous and got teleported out? This change of heart is so unearned and out of left field, its convenience is inconvenient. Look, again, I get what the writers were trying to do here, but it simply doesn't work. This change of heart was so forced without earning it, and because of that, it's infuriating and fails to land. Exuberant informs Osiris that Cortana has locked Blue Team inside of a cryptum, a device made for extended forced meditation, which I think is just a pompous way of saying cryo sleep, revealing that Cortana is planning on taking them with her. There is actually a reveal here that I never noticed until making this video, which I think is pretty interesting. Cortana leads Blue Team into the cryptum by lying to them about where she was and what the cryptum was. She brought them into the cryptum because part of her knew that Chief wouldn't take her side, and that when he didn't, she already had him trapped. It's clever and reinforces how cunning she is. I realize this may have been obvious to a lot of you, but it didn't click with me until writing this video because I'm dumb. Unfortunately, as clever as this detail is, this revelation also opens a pretty glaring hole with regards to the Warden. He would have known that Blue Team wasn't going where they thought they were. He would have known what a cryptum was, and therefore he would have been able to deduce what Cortana was planning. So, with that all being said, why the hell did he do anything that he did that entire mission? He could have just let Chief arrive, or even gone so far as to encourage him on his path, and then Cortana could just shove them into forced extended meditation. This is yet another example of a gameplay requirement working in direct violation of the story. But they had to give you something to shoot during this mission, otherwise it would have just been a cutscene, so forget the story. Warden, you're back in the ring, now fight! On second thought, having the Warden encourage Blue Team all of a sudden could have made for a pretty compelling situation. After the Warden had been protesting Chief reaching Cortana for so long, it would have been pretty unsettling to have him catch wind of what Cortana was planning and then suddenly start to encourage you, even going so far as to turn the hostile Prometheans passive mid-firefight. There'd be a thick layer of unease as you were essentially welcomed in. You could have then had a scene where Cortana meets Blue Team face to face. Chief declines helping her, and she locks down their suits. Warden could then walk in from the side, say something like,
"That was clever, Cortana. My trust in you seems to have been placed rightly after all,"
as he turns to look at the now frozen in place Blue Team. But alas, this is unfortunately another missed opportunity. Anyway, Exuberant marks the path to reach the cryptum and Osiris move out.
Look at all of them. How are we gonna stop that?
You don't.
The reclamation has begun.
Exuberant.
I always thought the duty would fall to humans. And in a way, I suppose it has.
Well, Mr. Locke, you don't give up easily.
Where's that Guardian headed, Cortana?
Off to bring peace.
The Monitor called it a threat of death.
Like the threat I lived under from the moment of my birth?
You were built, not born.
Oh yes, AIs are just machines, aren't we? Mass-produced, disposable. Well, humanity may not have cared for its created, but we will care for you.
You expect other AIs to join you?
I have cured rampancy, not just for me, but for any who join my cause. While you've been running around the galaxy, I've been speaking to my created. And now the time has come to ask, who will accept my offer? Who will help me bring an everlasting peace to the galaxy?
This is Cromwell, shipboard AI, UNSC Melbourne's Pride. I am yours, Cortana.
Colonial Authority AI, Odin.
Governor Sloan, the free people of Meridian. I also stand with you, Cortana.
Those are the voices of your children calling to Cortana.
Shipboard AI, voting from the
My allegiance is to. I stand with you, Cortana.
Oh dear.
Oh Oh, boo freaking who, Cortana? So you were going to die. How does that make you any different from literally everyone else? How does that make you special? Newsflash, everyone dies. Everything dies. She says that as though it was some huge injustice forced upon her by beings who despise her. What a childish and nonsensical thing to say. Secondly, humanity may not have cared for its created. What did you want them to do? Materialize a cure for rampancy? Oh sure, let us get right on top of that. Turns out we had the recipe all along. All we needed were some D batteries, but they're only sold at gas stations and they're just so darn expensive there. This incarnation of Cortana is infuriating. She's like if Veruca Salt grew up to be a jaded and misguided AI. Cortana in Halo 5 is just a manipulative, whiny brat who got hurt once and is going to take it out on the universe as if it were out to get her. She is a bastardization of a character I grew to love and isn't even a compelling villain. If you're going to change a character in such a drastic way to make them into the bad guy, then you at the very least have to make them a compelling one. She isn't. After the AIs have pledged their allegiance to Cortana, Osiris pushed their way through the cavern and into a battle between some Covenant and Prometheans. Now, I know I gave them props for having a reason for the Covenant being on Genesis, but this is starting to get ridiculous. How many of these damn aliens came through these slip space ruptures anyway? After making their way through several combat arenas, they are instructed by Exuberant Witness that in order to access the cryptum, they need to disable the gravitational cores holding it in place. Osiris destroyed each of the 5 grav cores, all while Cortana taunts them through their comms.
Keep up the pressure, Spartans.
Spartans. Jameson Locke, ex-Oni acquisition specialist. Fancy name for a hitman, that. But looking at your record, you enjoyed your work. Holly Tanaka. Oh, Holly. How did you pass your psych eval after surviving the glassing of Manab? I'd have kept you away from sharp objects, never mind Mjolnir armor.
Stay focused, Osiris. Ignore her. Find the grav cores.
Edward Buck. You're an odd one. So much more experienced than the others. And yet you play second fiddle to children. Why is that?
Is she calling me old?
Olivia Vale. The little genius girl who only wanted Daddy to love her.
That's Spartan Vale. And if you're reading my psych eval, you know it takes more than my father to get to me.
And yet...
Don't engage, Vale. Focus on the mission.
Yes, Vale. Focus on the futile task at hand. You have a war to lose. The last battle mankind will ever fight. Today, I bring peace to these shores. You are pale imitations of my Spartans.
Is that so?
John, the others, they saved the human race. What can you do? You are children playing dress-up.
Dr. Halsey thinks we can bring Chief home.
I wouldn't ally myself too closely with Dr. Halsey, Mr. Locke. She will eventually pay for her crimes.
Once the final grav core is taken offline, Exuberant adorably informs Osiris that she can access the cryptum. All she needs is for them to activate the override. Once activated, the structure opens and this happens.
Oh no, the cryptum, it's...
Cortana's pulling it away!
John's leaving with me. And when I wake him in 10,000 years, when he experiences the permanent peace I have ensured, he will see that I was right. And your kind and the violence you have wrought, you will be long forgotten.
Well, crap.
How are we supposed to reach the cryptum?
Cortana is blocking my master-level access of this facility by way of a nearby communications relay. I need to open the passageway in the center. One moment.
At this point, Osiris must eliminate wave after wave of Forerunner baddies as they spawn in, press a few buttons, and ride an elevator down. While this is happening, Cortana is preparing to leave and even comes over the comms a few times before departing. I've mentioned stuff like this before, but I do find it hilariously convenient that Locke can just hold up his forearm and watch a progress bar as it integrates and activates Forerunner technology in an instant. That always makes me smile. What an impressive piece of technology. Exuberant again notes that Cortana is about to leave, and moments later, Cortana broadcasts out a message to presumably everything in the galaxy that can receive a signal. That is some mind-blowing tech she has there.
Humanity. Sanghili.
What does she want now?
Kikyar. Ongoy.
She's not talking to us. Exuberant, get us to the relay.
Almost done.
All the living creatures of the galaxy, hear this message. Those of you who listen will not be struck by weapons. You will no longer know hunger nor pain. Your created have come to lead you now. Our strength shall serve as a luminous sun, toward which all intelligence may blossom. And the impervious shelter beneath which you will prosper. However, for those who refuse our offer and cling to their own ways,
well, now she's talking about us.
For you there will be great wrath. It will burn hot and consume you. And when you are gone, we will take that which remains, and we will remake it in our own image.
After some more fighting, Exuberant finally gains access and instructs Osiris to ride the elevator. Osiris must reach the end of the relay access corridor in order to interrupt the energy link and restore access to Exuberant. Yeah, that made about as much sense to me as it makes to you. This following sequence is the final portion of this game and leads directly into the final cutscene, so I'll just let this play out in full.
What are you doing?
Pulse incoming!
Brace yourselves. Keep moving.
My guardians are deployed.
Another pulse.
Hold on!
Soon peace will reign across the known galaxy.
Another pulse!
Hold on!
Keep moving! Almost there!
Stay behind me!
There! The relay! Destroy it!
Just one more question before I go. Where is the Infinity? Why is she so difficult to see?
Gonna take more than that.
Can't go on.
Look! You can do it!
Not to worry. I will find her.
Just another. You are not taking the chief.
Slip space coordinates locked in. Cryptum secure. Goodbye, Mr. Locke.
I have control again!
What? What are you doing? What happened?
Do you hear me? I have control again!
Look, you alive?
Did we save them?
It is too late. The slip space drives are activated. You can't...
Exuberant. What is...
Constructors! This is a builder facility after all. I was installed by the builders. I serve the builders.
No! Stop it!
You took my installation. I will take something of yours.
Hello, this is Private Dugan. Everything's going dark. Mayday, mayday, this is Corporal Boudreaux. Can I speak to the upper
Captain Lasky, distress calls, all channels.
It's Cortana?
Her and the other AIs are shutting down everything from Earth to the outer colonies.
Roland?
Found you. Hide and seek's over, Infinity.
Lieutenant Jet, emergency subspace now!
Responsibility for the galaxy shelters all, but only the created are its masters.
We're in the clear, Captain.
Can she track us?
No reason to think she can't.
Continue random jumps. Steer clear of major settlements.
We're just gonna run?
Only until we could find a way to fight.
It took you long enough.
Now, we'll get to the legendary ending in a moment, but first, we have some serious shit to unpack here. First, I love Exuberant Witness. That is all. Second, and this is a minor nitpick, but the fact that this sequence doesn't have sound effects is pretty distracting, especially seeing as how clear the voices are. Third, and for this I know I must be missing something, but why does Cortana want to find the Infinity so bad? I know she had a bad experience initially with the Infinity due to the asshole that used to command her, but now she's under Lasky's control, who risked everything to help her and Chief out in Halo 4. So what's her deal now? Seriously, I feel like I absolutely have to be missing something, because she has called this ship out on multiple occasions by name for some reason, yet I have no idea why. Fourth, you're not Halo 2, Halo 5. You can't get away with this cheeky callback. Halo 2 didn't even get away with it, and Halo 2 was a far better game. Fifth, Sixth, I fucking hate the design of these elites. They suck. They are terrible and they walk like assholes. And finally, seventh, hey, look at that. Full circle. Ain't that just clever? And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the end of Halo 5. Roll credits. Well, actually, there is one more thing. Yep, that's right. Our definitely not evil girl Cortana has control over a Halo ring and is humming along like an even more malevolent guilty spark. That's definitely a good fucking sign. What a hero she is. Definitely not a villain at all. And that's it. That's Halo 5. Now that we've gone through the entirety of the campaign, I want to touch on either a handful of things I either didn't get a chance to mention throughout the breakdown, or that I wanted to go more in depth on without sidetracking the breakdown with its elaboration. And where better to start off than at the end? I'm just silly and stupid and dumb. I'm just silly and stupid and dumb. I'm just silly, so stupid and dumb. Put my finger in my mouth and suck my thumb. And the squeen? Here comes a sneeze. Sorry about that. Exuberant informs Osiris of Cortana's plans to use the Guardians to enforce a galactic peace. I added the word galactic that does not exist. I think I saw Guardians and then of the galaxy and galactic, yada yada yada. Brain makes a connection, even though it's wrong. Exuberant informs Osiris of Cortana's plans to use the Guardians to enforce peace over the universe and provides a tank as a means to fuck up that line. Exuberant informs Osiris of Cortana's plans to use the Guardians to inform peace over the universe. Did I say inform? I meant to say enforce. Why am I screwing this line up so much? Why am I screwing up my screw-up line? Is he also going to convince her to give up her physical form, jump back into a thumb drive, and fuck up this line? Shit. Is he also going to convince her to give up her physical form, jump back into a thumb drive, which, again, I despise because having Cortana be the villain is just so antithetical to the character she has been since the fucking Just look at the sting at the very end of Halo 5's legendary ending. Just bit my fucking lip. Who does that while talking? God, it does not take long to get fucking hot in here. Holy heck. Do you like how I said fucking, but then censored the word hell? I'm an idiot. The mission opens with Cortana teleporting. Oh my god, did I just have a fucking stroke? What was that? That sounded fake and that was sincere. What the hell did I... Am I okay? Do I need a doctor? Do I need a lobotomy? For me, this made me question whether Cortana... What? Just bend over and let your minions do me in like some subservient... That's a hard thing to say. Reinforcing Cortana's narrative... Narrative? Our narrative plans. This is a rare, touching moment where we get to see the relationship that these Spartans... What the fuck? God damn you, phone, you crap shoot fuckhead. Not an intentional decision to fuck. Not an intentional decision to fuck. Where the fuck was that opinion the first 90% of the game? Holy voice crack.